Today is marked as Children's Day in India, and this is a day when lots of activities are taking place for the children. I thought it's a wonderful opportunity to share a message related to children on this Children's Day. However, this message is not for the children, it's for their parents. One of the biggest challenges that most of us as parents face today is the fact that we haven't done enough to make our children resilient to all the challenges that they will be facing in this world. We live in a world where there is instant gratification and there is instant satisfaction. In a world where the demands and the wishes and the fancies of the children are always given, are always fulfilled. There is no room for a child to hear the word no. Parents often wonder, or parents often believe, that if the child asks something and if we don't give it, we are failing as parents. But something that we seldom realize is the fact that the world is not going to be as kind to them as you are in the future. So what would happen when a child who's always getting everything that they wanted, at the very first instance of their asking, goes out into this world that is not going to be so kind to them, that's going to be cruel to them, that's going to be harsh on them? And face it, that's the reality of the world that we live in. We live in a highly competitive world. We live in a world where things don't always come our way. So are we actually preparing our children to face that world? By giving them everything that they want, and every time they ask for it, we are creating an entire generation. In fact, we're not creating, we have already created an entire generation of weak children who cannot face the word no, who cannot believe that something that they wanted will not be given to them, or they're not going to get away with everything that they want in this world. All the fancy things that they wanted, all the wonderful people around them that they wanted, all the facilities that they wanted, these may not always be granted to them, these may not always be guaranteed to them in the rest of their lives. Once they leave your homes, as they grow into teenagers and then as young adults and move on in their lives, they are going out into this world where it's going to be challenging for them. People are going to tell them the word no. It could start in the classes where their friends refuse to share something with them, refuse to talk to them, refuse to mingle with them, and immediately the child goes into a state of an upset. I don't want to use the word depression. However, they find it difficult to cope with the fact that they're not getting what they wanted. Sometimes they don't get the grades that they wanted. They don't get the marks that they wanted. And what happens to these children? Sometimes they don't get the girl that they wanted or the boy that they wanted, a girlfriend, a boyfriend. But what happens to them? We see increasingly the cases of people, male youngsters for that matter, throwing acid on the faces of the girls whom they wanted to befriend and who has actually declined their advances. Why does this happen? Who is responsible for it? The society? Or the girl who refused their advances? Or you as parents who didn't prepare this boy to accept challenges and the word no as he grows up? The same applies in the world of jobs. They may never get the job that they wanted. They may never get the career that you wanted them for them. What happens in such cases? Somebody going into their own shells? Once again, I don't want to use the word depression. My wish this Children's Day is that each one of us as parents toughen up a little bit. Be tough on the children in the houses. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to deny giving them what they wanted, because your job is not to give them everything that they wanted. Your job is to give them what they need. And that's what we succeed in as being good parents. Most of the parents today are trying to make the roads so smooth for their children to travel in that these parents often forget to teach our children to travel on rough roads. And believe me, life is going to be filled with rough roads, not the smooth roads that you made them believe that they will be facing beyond their stage of protection within your umbrella called home. Let's create a generation of youngsters, children, both boys and girls, who grow up as human beings, who value what they receive, who respect all around them, especially elders, who understand that the world is not going to be all about smooth sailing, irrespective of how economically well off their parents may be or how poor a background they come from. Life is not going to be smooth and easy for everyone. Let's prepare a breed of great youngsters who will be what this world needs in the future when you and I are not there anymore. All the best.